Do it again. Do it again.
Boom, bada boom, boom, boom. Ha!
With the Cuphead DLC, The Delicious Last Course, finally out, I can talk about one of my favorite indie games, Cuphead. I love games that have a fun challenge to them while being fair, and Cuphead is that balance I look for. The animation was the main highlight, bringing back the classic art style of old cartoons, and seriously, this game is breathtaking. Just look at all this fine, rich detail. It was a cute game, and a game I'd recommend to everyone despite the difficulty. When they announced the DLC all the way back in 2018, I was excited. Delays kept happening, which I expected, and I just developed an it's out when it's out mentality. I knew it would be good, and just decided to give it time. Now that the DLC is finally out, it introduces a few new mechanics, the main one being Miss Chalice as a new playable character. You equip a charm as Cuphead or Mugman to play as her. She has 4 health instead of 3, can double jump, and dodge roll to make the game even more like Dark Souls, but to parry you dash instead of pressing the B button twice. You can of course play the DLC levels as Cuphead or Mugman if you want to instead, and in co-op, I would recommend you stick with Cuphead and Mugman for the easier parrying. But if you're playing in single player, stick with Miss Chalice. The other main gameplay change is instead of run and gun stages, you have king levels, which are focused more on parrying the enemy and dodging attacks. Your charms and weapons don't work in these stages, so it's a fun test of skill. The DLC only has 6 bosses, plus a secret 7th boss, and a lot of them have unique mechanics. Moonshine Mob has a fun fake-out ending to trick you. Doggone Dogfight has a screen switching around, confusing the controls. So despite the quantity being small, the quality is very high. There's also the addition of some new charms and weapons. My favorite is the parry ring, which adds health when you parry enough times. As expected, the animation is top tier, everything from the characters, enemies, and background. Even fun little quirks like playing co-op and dropping the astral cookie, or when you solve the graveyard puzzle, how Cuphead and Mugman sit differently. Knowing how much a pain the animation is to make in this game makes me appreciate these small details even more. Even playing the base game as a DLC, they had small changes. My main problem being with the DLC is that I wish it was longer. And honestly, if the biggest problem with your game is that it's too short, you have a really good game on your hands. You can beat all the stages from the base game as Miss Chalice, but that just gets you an alternative costume, which was kinda disappointing. A new boss would have been better. The game overall took about 7 hours to beat, which means 5 hours on this shitty mountain guy and 2 hours beating the rest of the bosses. If any artists are watching this, if you could draw this guy being killed, that would be cool. I recommend the DLC. It's only $8, and if you like Cuphead, you get a new playable character and new bosses to fight. If you've never played Cuphead, you should. It's very unique and something you should have a good time with.